even before the committee brought back to the vestry the report on the question of should we now complete the west end of the church, Father Butler started working on the Clerestory windows. And we have his correspondence with some of the leading theological people in the Episcopal Church of that time, with whom he was well acquainted, and they both were connected with the General Theological Seminary, where he had been a student and a very active alumnus. So he consulted these people. How are we going to work these windows out? And what they came up with, to tell the end of the long story, is a series on both sides that shows, you might say, the life of the world, or the life of the church beyond the confines of the regular worship. So, for example, there is a window on architecture, a window on philosophy, a window featuring science. And in the science window, St. Martin's members are proud to point out that Charles Darwin is included in the science window. Of course, for most Episcopalians, that had ceased to be a controversial issue years before. And then there was a window on the religious life, and especially the religious life in the Episcopal Church. It is remarkable how he worked this out. To avoid monotony, he said, he worked out variations in the scheme between those windows featuring blue color and those featuring red. And then this other variation, which is just amazing. If you look at the windows, so you see every other window has 3 full-length figures standing. But the other windows, the odd windows, are one central person standing and 2 on either side in the same window. So that pattern is alternated up and down both sides. And that seems to me just an exquisite touch to bring kind of artistic excitement to those windows. The alternation in the shapes of the columns in our church, where every other column is round and every other one is octagonal. This is one of our treasures, and he worked this out over the course of several years, beginning, as I said, before the committee brought back its positive report on the church building. Long before most of the windows were installed, he had worked out the scheme, and the vestry approved this scheme to be held to over the future installation of windows, because the windows were installed when someone would decide to give a window as a memorial. Later on, there was one place where a later rector and vestry wanted to make a slight alteration in Butler's plan. But the fact that they noted it at the time as a slight alteration and were honoring overall his plan reflects the influence that many people didn't think about at the time, but the great influence Butler had for this whole building.